Hey everybody, welcome to the very first Flashback Friday. This will be a semi, not even regular video. It really depends on when these drafts come. So every now and then, usually before a new set is going to come out online, Wizards will do flashback drafts. They'll take an old format and they'll put it up for a week and you're able to draft it. So this week they're doing Tempest Draft. Tempest, Stronghold, and Exodus. These sets are quite old. They're from the mid to late 90s, probably 98 or so. And these are actually the last sets that I played with as a kid back in middle school, before I got back in just a few years ago. I never drafted this format. Back then I played at recess. You know, my decks were every black and red card I owned if I wanted to play a black and red deck. So it'll be interesting getting into these. I did one practice draft, and I actually went 2-1, made it to the finals. I really should have recorded that one, but hopefully we do as good today. It's an interesting format. It's very old Magic. So Magic used to be much slower, and the creatures were much less impressive. A 3/3 for 5 is sometimes expected, whereas these days a 3/3 for 3 is kind of what you would want. There's not nearly as many creatures with super crazy abilities and game warping things. It really does come down to sort of maximizing your combat, making sure that you're not taking any extra damage that you don't need to, and making sure that all of your blocks are correct. This is the set that introduced slivers. Slivers were first seen in the Tempest block. They're now much more popular. They were in Time Spiral. They were in a few other sets. They, of course, came back for M14 and M15. There's a few big cards. Wasteland is the card that we're really hoping to open. It's an uncommon in Tempest, and it's worth 100 tickets, which is quite a bit of money. That's obviously $100 there. And at uncommon, we actually have 3 chances in our first pack to open it. There's a few other pretty valuable cards. Unfortunately, there's also a large amount of completely worthless cards. Back in this day, sets had a very weird distribution. For example, Tempest has 110 rares, 110 uncommons, and 110 commons. So the rares are pretty rare, but a lot of them are really bad. They would be uncommon these days, or they just wouldn't exist because they're so low powered and not that great. So yeah, I'm going to jump into this draft, and I will see you once pack 1 is ready. Hey everybody, took quite a while, but we've finally gotten our pack here. Unfortunately, no Wasteland. We have a Meditate. I don't think that's worth anything. Let me do a quick... No, it's only worth about $1. Draw 4 cards, you skip your next turn. Yeah, it's a bit of a downside. So blue is pretty powerful. I've found in Tempest Draft, and Capsize is probably one of the most powerful commons. Return target permanent to its owner's hand, so it's probably more widely known as Voyage's End these days. Costs 1 more blue, but it has buyback, so if I cast this for 4 blue, I get this card back into my hand. So I can just, late game, just use this over and over and over and over. And I think it's going to be the pick here. Not much else that I see offhand. There is a Dark Banishing, which is one of the almost completely non-conditional removal spells, but I like Capsize better, and I definitely want to try to push blue. We've got Rootwater Hunter, which is also a pretty great blue common here. You can tap it to deal 1 damage to target creature or player. It doesn't sound that great. It's a 1/1 for 3 with a ping ability for 1, but you have to keep in mind how old this set is. There's a lot of 1 toughness creatures. I mean, look at this pack. We've got a 1/1, a 4/1, a 3/1, a 1/1, a 1/1, and an XX. And a 1/2 here. So this Rootwater Hunter kills every single thing in this pack, except for this Pegasus, and depending on what they cast this Cracklin as. So Rootwater Hunter is going to be our pick here. It's blue, which is what we want. It's one of the best commons. We've got a Dothy Marauder here. Shadow is one of the key mechanics this block. A creature that has Shadow can only block or be blocked by other creatures with Shadow. So they basically operate on their own level of combat. They do not interact in any way with non-Shadow creatures. So you sometimes have to race them, and being a 3/1 is pretty good. But this Rootwater Hunter is just the best by far here. So I'm looking to hopefully pair with red or with black. They both have pretty good removal. What do we have here? We have Enraging Lycid. This is kind of like Bestow, long before Bestow. These creatures, you can pay and tap them to turn them into an aura that goes onto a creature. It doesn't add their power and toughness like Bestow does, and if the creature dies and you don't pay the extra to take the Licid off, then it does go away as well. Enraging Licid gives haste. It's alright, it's not fantastic. Ledger Domain. Exchange control of target artifact or a creature with another target permanent that shares one of those types with it. That could be pretty good. Propaganda. Creatures can't attack you unless their controller pays 2 for each creature he or she controls that's attacking you. That's pretty decent, especially because my deck I'm going to want to be playing for the long game. We've got Kindle. So that's a 2-mana burn spell. I think I'll take the Propaganda here. Kindle might have been a better choice. I haven't played with Propaganda, so I'm not entirely sure. But we're here to learn. Sky Shroud Condor, 2/2, cast it only if you've cast another spell this turn. That's pretty decent. Flyers in this format are great as well. And it lets me cut blue again. Flowstone Salamander, 3/4 for 5, deals 1 to a blocker. Sudden impact, target player, not creature. So that's not that great. Mog Conscripts, stun. Soltari Trooper, it's Marble Titan. Creatures with power 3 or greater don't on tap. Well, that's pretty good, but I don't really want to go white. I'm thinking I'm just going to take the Sky Shroud Condor here. Just continue to stay blue. There's a few really good blue draw cards that I'm hoping to get in the Stronghold pack, Sift namely. But I think Sky Shroud Condor is just the pick here. It's a creature, it's a flyer. We got a Propaganda back, so I could have taken that Kindle, but oh well. Let's see, we've got a 1/1 for 3, Shadow. You can choose not to untap it. Whenever it deals damage, tap a creature, it stays tapped as long as this stays tapped. Nah, not great. What else do we have? Horned Turtle. A 1/4 is fantastic. Almost everything in this set has 1 or 2 toughness. 3 is pretty much unheard of, and this Horned Turtle would block almost every creature there is. It might be my pick here. This Dream Sower, I don't like that it has 1 toughness because any removal kills it as well. Anything like Rootwater Hunter or Fire Slinger. So I think I'll just take the Horned Turtle here. Just continue to stay blue. Alright, we've got a Mnemonic Sliver. Unfortunately, Slivers is not really a draft deck because you'd have to play ideally at least 3, if not 4, or even 5 colors. So this does let me cycle it, which is not bad. Just by itself completely. We've got another Horned Turtle. Marsh Lurker is not really going to push me black. Blood Frenzy is not going to push me red. Anoint, prevent the next 3 damage, and I can buy it back. A 1/1 Shadow for 1. Mounted Archers. 2/3 is not bad. But I think I'll just take the Mnemonic Sliver. Just continue to stay blue here. Stark of Wrath is decent-ish. You can tap it to kill a creature or an artifact, but then that controller of that creature or artifact gets control of Stark, so they can do it right back to you. Not bad if they have something big and you don't, but I'd like to have stuff, so I don't think I'll take Stark of Wrath. I will probably take this Flowstone Giant, though. As I said, 3 toughness is huge, so a 3/3 for 4 that I can turn into a 5/1 is pretty good. It will hold off quite a bit. Spell Blast is something else I'd be looking at. The deck I want to play is a controlling long game deck, but I'll take the Flowstone Giant here. Start to edge into red, possibly. Let's see. We've got Canyon Wildcat, which is a very aggressive 2/1 for 2. It has Mountain Walk. You'll see a lot of land walk creatures in this set. It was much more popular back in these days than it is now. Sea Monster I actually kind of like. It's a 6/6 for 6, which is perfect vanilla test. It can't attack, however, unless the defending player controls an island, but it can block. And a 6/6 is going to block everything, and that might be what I take. It'll hold off games just for a very long time. If I get to attack with it, cool. I'm in red, so I might be able to pick up a Fling. Using Fling with this is great. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that pick. Insight. Whenever an opponent casts a green spell, you draw a card. That's way too narrow. We're not even going to look at that. Spell Blast is the pick here, I think. It's the color I want, blue. It's a counter spell. It's not the best counter spell. This block does have the original counter spell called counter spell, but this one's still pretty flexible. And late game, I'm going to be able to counter whatever I want with it. Better than Shatter. I don't think I want to go white with any of these things, or green. Green's a pretty bad color that I found in Tempest block. So no more blue. We're looking at a lightning elemental if we want to go red. Doth the Embrace. Enchantment. Pay 2 black to give something shadow. Armored Pegasus, 1/2 flyer. Blood Pets. Yeah, I think we'll just take the lightning elemental. We might not play it. 1 toughness, as I said, is pretty bad. If we become a little bit aggressive, I might put it in, but we'll see. Let's see, we've got Gaseous Form, which is kind of like removal. It stops all combat damage being dealt to or by a creature. It unfortunately gives them an invulnerable blocker, but if I'm hopefully playing as many flyers as I want, it might be good. Heart Sliver, I already have 1 sliver, but I think Gaseous Form is better. Mog Raider's decent if I was being more aggressive, but I'm definitely not. So Sudden Impact, that was to target player for the number of cards in their hand. That's not great. Stun, target player can't block this turn and it replaces itself. That's the pick here, I think. Nothing else that we'd play, really. And I don't know if we'll play Stun. Blood Frenzy, target creature gets +4/+0 and then dies at the end of the turn. We'll play that. It's not really going to go in our deck probably, but we'll take it. We'll take another one, and we're not playing 2. We might play 1, but I doubt it. Alright, so we didn't get a Wasteland, so we're on to the Strong Pulled pack. Hopefully we're going to get a Mox Diamond, or can't remember offhand what the other big money card is. But it is not Invasion Plans, I can tell you that. All creatures block each turn if able. The attacking player chooses how each creature blocks this turn. That's bad. That's way too much control for my opponent. I don't want to let them be doing things like that. So let's see. For us, for blue-red, we've got Mog Flunkies. Not great if I'm not going to be an aggressive deck. Spindrift Drake, which I kind of like. It's a flyer. I have to pay blue every turn to keep it around, but I'm kind of okay with that. Flowstone Shambler might be a better pick. It's a better blocker than Spindrift Drake is, and I can probably get at least 1 Spindrift Drake, maybe even this one on the wheel. Otherwise, we're looking at Deathstroke, destroy target tapped creature. Not much else really in this pack, so I think I'll just take the Flowstone Shambler. Let me take the Stun and the Blood Frenzy out. I don't want to play those. I'm hoping Propaganda holds the game off for quite a while. Mana Leak I quite like. It's really good early game. It's obviously not as good as just straight up counterspell, but it's quite good early game. Heart of Battle, whenever a creature blocks, deals 1 damage to that creature's controller. Contempt, whenever enchanted creature attacks, return it. End Contempt to their owner's hands at the end of combat. That's not terrible. I basically just have to keep spending 2. I can probably get another one of those. I think I'll take Mana Leak here instead. Mog Bombers is a 3/4, so it's a great blocker, but as soon as another creature enters the battlefield, either my creature or their creature, it dies and deals 3 damage to the opponent. Yeah, I think I'll just take Mana Leak here. Well, I'm solidly blue. Red has not quite established itself yet, so I still could go a different color if I got something that really pushed me that way. But I think this Fling is what I'm going to take here. The Fling in Sea Monster is great. It's just 6 damage right to their face, or if I desperately needed a removal spell. I'd really like this Cloud Spirit. Flyers are fantastic, but I think I want to take the Fling here just in case I don't see another one. I have a feeling I might be able to get a Cloud Spirit still in this pack. There's Sift. That is what I want. So draw 3 cards and then discard a card. Not necessarily one of those 3, just one from my hand. That's a fantastic way to restock your hand, especially only for 3 and a blue. That's hands down what I'm going to take here for sure. Not nearly as good as Furnace Spirit or Seething Anger. Nothing else I would really take here, so Sift for sure. Yeah, so there's that Cloud Spirit back. There's a Spindrift Drake as well, but I think there should be another one in this pack. There's 11 cards in this pack. This will be my 5th pick. So there's 2 or 3 more packs to come before I see another one. But Cloud Spirit's just better. It's a 3-1 instead of a 2-1. I don't have to pay the mana each turn to keep it. Costs 2 extra mana, but that's fine. Better than Rebound. Convulsing Licid is enchanted creature can't block. Not really what I want. Leap, just a combat trick to give it flying. So yeah, Cloud Spirit's the pick here for sure. Basically, I want to hold off the game and then just ping in with Cloud Spirit or any other flyer that I get just over and over and over, and then fling Sea Monster at their face. Wow, a lot of stuff here for us. Reigns of Power. Untap all creatures you control and all creatures target opponent controls. You and that opponent each gain control of all creatures the other controls. That's way too wacky. Maybe in a wacky draft that would work, but not this draft. So Wall of Tears is a card I quite like. It's an 0/4 wall for 2, and anything that it blocks gets bounced back to their hand at the end of the combat, not even the end of the turn. Hammerhead Shark is a 2/3. 3 is a good toughness, especially for a 2-drop. Just like the sea monster, it can't attack unless they have an island, but it can block. I might be able to get one of those. I want to take the Wall of Tears here for sure. It's an uncommon, so I almost definitely won't see one left, especially because there's only 1 or 2 more packs left. But Wall of Tears is what I'll take. It goes into my long game plan. Not much left here. We've got a Leap, which I don't think I'll take. I'll take the Duct Crawler. It's a 1/1 for 1, and I can make it. I can make target creature not be able to block it. Not really that great. I don't think I'm really going to be pumping this up in any way. Maybe Blood Frenzy, but preferably not. But I'm more likely to play it than I am to play Leap, so we'll take it. Craven Giant I would probably play. It's 4/1 that can't block, but it's an attacker. Tidal Warrior combos with my Sea Monster. It lets me turn a land into an island, but it's definitely not worth a card. So I'll take the Craven Giant here. I guess we'll rare draft the Invasion Plans. It's probably worth like 2 cents, but I'm not going to play any of these other cards. I'm not really going to be upset about seeing any of these cards on the other side of the table. Foul Imp is probably the card I wouldn't want to see. Yeah, so let's actually take the Foul Imp here. Gets a flyer out of the airs. So we're a little light on creatures. Hopefully Exodus will fix that up. We're a little light on money cards as well. I was hoping to see a Wasteland in pack 1. Or a Mox Diamond in pack 2. There's the Contempt I was considering. Not a creature, and it will be my 20th card, although there's some cards I will take out. But I'll take it here. I haven't played with it because I didn't realize that Contempt came back to your hand as well. I thought it was just sort of a 1-turn bounce spell kind of thing. But the fact that Contempt does come back to your hand as well as the creature going back to theirs makes it a bit better. Tidal Surge, tap up to 3 creatures without flying. It's a sorcery spell, so it's not actually a delay of game. You would only use that for attacking. Mob Justice deals damage to target player equal to the number of creatures I control. I'm not going to have a ton of creatures, and it doesn't remove cards. I guess I'll take the Tidal Surge, but not being played in this deck. Furnace Spirit, 1/1 for 3 with haste, and I can give it, it has fire breathing, so I can pay a red to give it +1/+0. Probably won't play it, but I guess we'll take it. So yeah, in Exodus, we're basically hoping to see City of Traders. There's almost no other cards worth more than $1. City of Traders is worth something like 25 or 30. I guess we'll take Rebound. I won't play it. Actually, let's take Skyshot Archers. It can knock our flyers out of the air, and I don't want that happening. I don't really want another Contempt, so I'll take Crossbow Ambush for the same reason. Take something out of the draft that could hurt my flyers. And we'll take a Scapegoat and sideboard that. So yeah, come on, City of Traders. And we get Airtie Wizard Adept. What's Airtie do? 2 blue counter target spell. Yeah, that's okay. It's a 1/1, which isn't great, but I think I'm pretty happy with having a counter spell on a stick. Magill Vec. And of course, if I keep the mana up, I can counter any removal they would have. Magill Vec is a pinger, but I have to discard a card at random. That is all kinds of bad. Furnace Brood, I can stop a creature from being regenerated. Not that amazing. Aether Tide is kind of like Aether Spout. You return creatures back to their hand, but you have to discard the number of creature cards you want to return to their hand. That is horrible tempo and horrible card advantage. Whip Tongue Frog. I wouldn't mind getting one of these. It's a 1/3 that I can make fly whenever I want. Kind of jumps up and blocks attackers, or it's just a 20-turn clock if they don't have any flyers. But we'll take Airtie here. Oath of Lieges, unfortunately not Oath of Druids. Oath of Druids is worth a bit. The other 4 oaths are not. So we've got Price of Progress. Deals damage to each player equal to twice the number of non-basic lands. No, thank you. Raging Goblin, 1/1 for 1 with haste. School of Piranhas. It's another of those pay blue mana each turn to keep it around, but it is a 3/3 for 2. I've talked up the 3 power and 3 toughness a bit, so I would consider it if Sonic Burst wasn't here. Sonic Burst is just flat out removal. Dealing 4 damage to target creature will kill almost everything. Again, look at this pack. Kills Soul Warden, kills Piranhas, kills Goblin, kills Troll if they don't regenerate it, kills Grolub, kills Cartographer, kills almost everything I have except for Sea Monster. So I'll take the Sonic Burst here. The discarding a card at random is a bit of a pain, but hopefully it's the last card in my hand, and then it doesn't really cost me anything. So I will take Sonic Burst here, and I should be able to get that School of Piranha back if I want it. Let's see. Fade Away I kind of like. I'll look at that in a moment more closely for those who don't know. Mana Breach, whenever a player casts a spell, return a land he or she controls. No. Anarchist looks great. When Anarchist enters the battlefield, you may return target sorcery card from graveyard to your hand, but it's sorcery, not instant. So I would get back Sift. And that's all? Yes, I would get back Sift. So terrible card. If it was instant, it would be amazing. I would get back my counter spells, I would get back my removal, I would get back Fling and Sonic Burst, etc. But I think we'll take Fade Away here. So Fade Away, for each creature, its controller sacks a permanent unless they pay 1. Early game, when people don't have enough mana, and especially when they've tapped out, this is amazing because they either have to sacrifice their creatures or they have to sacrifice their lands. So I'll definitely take that. Alright, so there's the School of Piranha I was talking about. There's another Sonic Burst. Let me get rid of this Duct Crawler. We're not playing it. Let me get rid of the Furnace Spirit. We are not playing it. So that puts us at 12 creatures. Do I want another Sonic Burst? I think maybe I do. There's a School of Piranha I was talking about, but I bet I can even wheel the one that I passed originally. Or 12 cards, possibly even wheel that one, but unlikely. I think I'll take the second Sonic Burst here. Wow, our blue disappeared. Null Brooch. Pay 2, discard your hand, counter target non-creature spell. That's not very good. Rootwater Mystic is... sorry, I guess I said there was no blue. But there may as well not be. This is a 1/1 for 1. I can pay 2 and look at a card on top of somebody's library. Can't do anything with it. I can just look at it. It's not very good. I think we'll go with Shattering Pulse here. Sideboard Artifact Hate. Another Rootwater Mystic. Flowstone Flood, destroy target land. I can buy it back if I pay 3 life and discard a random card. Not that good. Yeah, nothing really here for us at all. I might just hate a pygmy troll. Yeah, let's just do that. So yeah, I'd really like to get another creature, perhaps, or two. I am going to be a controlling-ish deck, so I don't really expect to have, you know, the usual 15 or 16 creatures that a regular aggro-ish draft deck would have. But I would like to have maybe one more thing. So the other fun thing with these Tempest flashback drafts is the payout if you win one game of Swiss is, I'll get back to this in a second actually. Monstrous Hound, 4/4, can't attack unless you control more lands than the defending player. Can't block unless you control more lands than the attacking player. So basically, if I don't have more lands, it's worthless. So I have to stay ahead on lands. I could fling it, and it might be better than any, well, Whip-Tongue Vrog. So I think I might gamble with the Monstrous Hound. It might be what I sideboard out if it's that inconsistent, and it sounds like it might be pretty inconsistent, but we'll take it. It sounds fun. Let's see. Treasure Trove is an enchantment, 2 blue blue, pay 2 blue blue, draw a card. No thanks. We've got something else that I want to be playing 2 blue blue for each turn. Cunning is +3/+3 for a creature, but when that creature attacks or blocks, you sacrifice Cunning. So it's kind of like a very slow, very visible combat trick. Not that great. Robe of Mirrors, enchanted creature has Shroud. Not that great. Maniacal Rage, enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and can't block. I guess we'll take that, but we're not going to play it. Nothing really here. Nausea is what I'll probably take. Giving all creatures -1/-1 would hurt us. We have a lot of X1s, so we will just take that away. There's a School of Piranha. Do I want it? I think maybe I do. I didn't take the Sky, whatever it was called, Drake. So I don't have anything that has a constant upkeep payment, so I guess I'll take the Piranhas. Let's take the Raging Goblin. Don't think I'll play it. This is not a Raging Goblin deck. Necrologia. Cast it only in your end step. Pay X life, draw X cards. Let's get rid of the troll. Cursed Flesh. That's pretty late, actually. -1/-1 is removal in this format. Let's take the Scare Tactics, no combat tricks, Predatory Hunger, sure. So there's our draft. We have 3 cuts that we need to make. Possibly a creature that will cut. We do have 15. We can probably get by with 14. Let's see what we got. So Sea Monster's in, Sift is in, Monstrous Hound is in, but very sideboardable if it's as inconsistent as I worry. So it can't attack unless I have more lands than him, and it can't block unless I have more lands than him. So if I ever get behind on lands, this is absolutely nothing on my side of the board, except possibly a fling target. But I guess I'm okay with that. Flowstone Giant is in, Lightning Elemental maybe in. Shambler in, Craven Giant. Craven Giant kind of is less on our game plan than Lightning Elemental is. Lightning Elemental can block. So Craven Giant might be what gets the cut. Capsize is definitely in, Rootwater Hunter's in, Propaganda is in, Mnemonic Sliver's in, Horned Turtle's in, Gaseous Form is in, Fadeaway is in, Urtai's in, Cloud Spirits is in. Sonic Burst, Fling, Wall of Tears, those are in. Sky Shroud Condor is in. Piranhas are in. Mana Leak's in. Contempt is in. Let me read this, make sure I'm completely correct on it. When the enchanted creature attacks, return it and Contempt to their owner's hands. Oh, at the end of combat. So they still get to swing in. That's going to get a cut. Raging Goblin will be cut. So yeah, we're down to 1 cut, and I think it's going to be the Craven Giant. That would take us to 13 creatures. Let's see what that looks like. A lot more blue than red. Only 1 double red though, so that's okay. Tidal Surge not going in, Contempt not going in after I carefully reread it for a 3rd time. Furnace Spirit, no. Stun, no. Shattering Pulses, sideboard. Maniacal Rage, no. Blood Frenzy, no. Duct Crawler, no. Yeah, so I think that's our deck here. So yeah, let's get some lands in here. 11-6. Does that sound right? Fling, Sonic Burst are all late cards. Yeah, 11-6 I think sounds pretty good. Let's add that to the deck. So yeah, anyways, as I was saying, the interesting thing with the payout for this is the value of the packs is all over the place. So because Tempest packs potentially have Wasteland, which is 100 tickets, and you have 3 chances of hitting it per pack, Tempest packs are currently selling for about 18 tickets, so $18, which is more than a draft. The drafts are 14 tickets. So if you win 1 game of this Swiss draft, you get an I believe a Stronghold pack, which is about $1.47. So winning 1 match, not that great. Winning 2 matches, though, gets you an Exodus pack. An Exodus pack is, I think, also about $1.50. But you get a Tempest pack for 2 wins. So getting 2 wins is what you really, really desperately want in a Swiss draft, because you get that Tempest pack, which is the absolute bulk of the cost, and so your next draft only costs you a Stronghold pack and 2 tickets, so basically 4 tickets to get into another draft. So we're really hoping to go 2-1. If we go 3-0, that's cool. You know, we get that extra pack, so we get an extra ticket and a half of value. But 2-1 is what we really want to go. With this deck, I'm fairly happy with it. I think it can go long game. It's got Mana Leak for an early counter. It's got Spell Blast for a later counter. It's got Urtai Wizard Adept, which is counterspell on a stick. As long as I can keep up 2 blue-blue, this guy is basically invincible. If I'm ahead on the board at all or have any sort of blockers, I really start to take control of the game here, as long as I keep up 2 blue-blue. Fade Away, hopefully I get that relatively early and just get him to sack a bunch of his creatures or his lands. 2 Sonic Bursts is pretty nice. 2 4 damage spells for 2 is pretty great. The Rootwater Hunter hopefully can pick things off. Capsize, if I get to late game, just being able to bounce something over and over and over and over is great. And then we basically try to get in the air with my flyers or get through with my Flowstone Giant, my Monstrous Hound if I happen to have more lands than the other player has, or if they have an island Sea Monster, or just, you know, fling Sea Monster at them. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. We'll submit the deck, and I will see you when the round 1 starts.